morning. Thank you, Jimmy and Lori, for letting us speak during CE Sunday. For those of you who do not know me, I am Joyce DeManico, and I am the director of the nursery school. My colleague here needs no introduction. She's Christy Wepler. 2 years ago, Christy and I had a conversation about how we needed to increase our school hours in order to stay competitive with the other neighborhood nursery schools and our family's needs of having a longer day. In order to do that, we had to get a New York State license. It became what we call our Olympic event. So the Olympic event that we entered into was the relay race. Yes, we had many runners, many people passing the baton. Listen, we're nursery school teachers. You're going to see props. It's as simple as that. So many people had the baton, not once or twice, several times. It was an incredible feat, an arduous task, and we set our minds, as Christy and I do, to have it done. The first baton goes to Regina Rule. She's a Board of Trustee member, and she introduces us to John Grillo. He becomes our architect. He's the architect for Muncie Park Elementary School, and he knew all the regulations that we needed to make the building renovated to suit the needs of our preschoolers and to get approved by New York State. We then meet with the Board of Trustees. Red Horowitz is the chair, and they generously support what we're going to do. We show them John Grillo's blueprint drawings. By the way, John Grillo made 6 blueprint drawings. We are still asking for an invoice. He says he did it from the bottom of his heart. It was incredible. The Board of Trustees approves it. Okay, the next thing that we happen to have are the doors and the windows. I'm sure you've seen the security doors and the egress windows throughout the building. We feel very secure. Unbeknownst to us, incredible, our church member, Gene DeStabler, covers the cost of the doors and the windows in honor of his wife, Anne. We have a plaque commemorating Anne and the church as a church member and all the wonderful things she did for the church. And if you'd like to take a look at that, it is right outside our nursery school doors. Thank you, Gene. We now start the New York State application. When we are done, it becomes 167 pages, I kid you not. It was, again, an Olympic event. The first thing that we have to find out is, when was the church incorporated? In comes Donna Marquez. Donna's institutional knowledge of the building and church is bar none. She is the keeper of all things. She, of course, finds the April 17th, 1941 incorporation paper. Pristine condition, a little illegible. You wouldn't imagine that after being there for many years. So we need help. Jim Kiley, he's our attorney as well as the church's attorney. He goes to the Nassau County Courthouse and he tells the clerk, we need a letter to the New York State to tell them that yes, indeed, we were incorporated. She does so. He manages to convince her of that. We get the letter, we send it in. We also need proof of when the nursery school started. Donna Marquez. She has the annual meeting booklet from 1959, I kid you not. The archives for this church is in a building, in a room, and it's in a cabinet, and it's incredible that she found it. So we had proof of that. Go back to Jim Kiley, who then comes to us, to the Village of Muncie Park, because the Village of Muncie Park needs to know what we're doing. We can't just do this renovations and them not knowing. Jim accompanies us. Back to the renovations. Donna again. We have a new fire system. That was in the works before we actually were going to be New York State licensed. She becomes very good friends with the fire marshal. I think she met with him 4 times. We needed a new septic system. Department of Health said we needed one. Donna supervises that. We have Louis and Ivan painting the parish hall, doing things to the classroom. They were very instrumental in getting the inspectors here and seeing how great a building we had. We had 15 New York State inspectors in the past year and a half. It when I tell you this Olympic event was becoming very, very challenging, as you see, and the baton is being passed to everyone. We're almost at the finish line. It's only a year and a half. My teachers are just like, this is kind of crazy. But we can't get to the finish line without meeting with the village of Muncie Park again, who I have to say came through at the end, but it was a little touch and go. We speak to Red and say we need your help. Red decides he's going to go meet with the village of Muncie Park. He sends a letter to them asking for the mayor to be there as well as the building inspector. He takes with him another trustee member, Judge Randy Yang, and together, I have no idea what went on in that meeting, the Olympic gold we get. The license is now hanging up, our gold medal. Oh, we did forget one thing. I'll get to that. Our gold medal license is actually hanging up near Ann's plaque right outside our nursery school door. The one thing I forgot to mention, which my colleague of course reminds me of, is the Church of Our Savior, the Lutheran Church. Christ Our Savior, Lutheran Church. Have to get that name right. I cannot believe they opened their doors to us when we needed to do the extended day and we were not New York State licensed. They opened their doors for us and we went there every afternoon with our children so we could keep the extended day open and have all the children be where they should be till 2 o'clock. They did that at no cost. It was an incredible feat. It truly takes a congregation. It is an incredible, we are so gracious and grateful for them that they pulled that together for us. Okay, last but not least, I am humbled and honored to be the director of the nursery school. I would be remiss not talking about Lori and Jimmy and the things they've done with us. Oh yes, they've been guest speakers talking about kindness. They kick off our kindness topic at the preschool. They also, on a cold winter morning, will be outside with Dunkin' Donut coffee for our families who are dropping off at 9 a.m. How kind is that? They also are at our concerts, greeting our families, speaking with them. They are also at our parent orientation meeting in September. And yes, Jimmy is at our scavenger hunt. He's the last person that the children get to see. Rev Jimmy's office. You hear Jimmy singing. He's not quite choir ready, but he does his best. He really does. I also would be remiss not thanking Donna, who, as you see, the baton was passed to her so many times. Donna, from a professional standpoint, I can't thank you enough. Thank you for being my friend. Last but not least is my friend standing next to me, my colleague, Christy Wepler, who I've been teaching with for 15 years, and who has been my friend for over 30 years. I am stepping down as the director of the nursery school this summer, and I have one more person I need to thank, and that is John Walter. And you may say, why would you have to thank John Walter? When I first started in the nursery school, John came into my office and he said to me, Joyce, what can I do for you? And John had been in the building, as you know, basically lived here, and he would come in my office all the time. He'd have to fix something in the church or in the nursery school wing, and every day he'd walk in and say, Joyce, what can I do for you? So I am handing off my Olympic torch to Christy Wepler, and I'm saying to Christy, what can I do for you? Thank you.
Okay, the John Walter piece got me.
Sorry.
I wasn't expecting that one, so now I'm going to have to read. Actually, do I have to take this? Here, Claire, why did you get it the direction? I'm just kidding. I'll take it back. I can't do that. I would love to do that. No, I do promise to keep this torch burning for a very long time and take this nursery school into the future that Joyce has so beautifully set up for us. We do have a little bit of a family secret. So what we told you really has to stay within these walls for like the next week and a half. Because we all know with social media and everything like that, things get out, but this is Joyce's news to tell, and she just would like, we'd like to be able to tell our nursery school, and together, and that's not yet. So you kind of have to hold this little piece of information just like you would hold, a surprise party.
One more week.
One more week. Okay. So needless to say, we are going to move on. We're going to bring in veteran teacher Lisa Meyer, who's also been teaching at the nursery school for a while. Lisa and I taught together in New Hyde Park for many years. We've been friends for over 30 years also. We'll kind of co-direct her with a little help from, maybe a lot of help from Joyce, a lot of help from Donna, and this church family, because really without you, none of this would have happened. But now, I would be remiss if I did not say a few little words about my friend Joyce DeManico. And I know she would be really mad at me, so I'm going to try to be as brief as I possibly can. But Joyce wasn't looking to be the director of this nursery school either. 15 years ago, when Marilyn Leverage decided that it was time for her to retire, she and I got together, and she looked at me and she said, "Christy," and I said, "I have a 10-year-old, I have a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old and a baby, I can't do it." And we said, "But we have this wonderful person who's been subbing, and she's now teaching in the 3s. I'll bet that we could get Joyce DeManico to do this because she would be amazing." And then we just had to convince Joyce that she would be amazing. And we did, and thankfully she agreed, and then she became our director for 15 years, right, 15? Mm-hmm. So she has carefully and diligently and effectively created this beautiful learning environment for children and teachers to work together in concert and to become the best nursery school that we can be. It allows our children to become risk takers, problem solvers, and really just great kids. And I know I see a couple of my students up here, but so many children from our church have gone through our nursery school as well. I think my sister, Cindy, not me. That wasn't here, Mom, it wasn't even, it started then, right? But I didn't come here. Mom needed some drivers, right? But Joyce, with a serious yet fun nature, welcomes children and teachers and families into the building every day, and creates an environment that's optimal for learning, while at the same time ensuring that our school is keeping up with the times and the demands of today's young families. So thank you, Joyce, for taking this long run with the torch, for never giving up on our amazing school. I was so good last night. On our amazing school, our amazing teachers, and our amazing families. Thank you for showing compassion, for supporting our church by helping to make the Congo name known around town, for understanding that teachers are also moms, wives, children, siblings, and friends, as well as being teachers, for being a careful listener, for supporting us and making everything work always, for being a boss and a friend at the same time, and for just being you. We will miss you in your current role and are truly grateful for all that you have done for the Congregational Nursery School of Manhasset. You have made our church so very proud. Thank you.